Have you ever heard someone say that the universe is actually a hologram? Like, it's not an actual tangible thing. It's not actually even like solid. Like, I'm not actually something you could even tangibly say exists, but rather we're more like a program, like the internet, where the internet's not really tangible, yet it exists. Have you ever heard that before? Now, the first time that I heard that was years ago, and I think I was watching something science-y, like the Discovery Channel or something of that nature. And the first time I heard that, I was like, okay, that's interesting, because we very much believe that we live in a tangible planet, a tangible universe. And so, you know, everything kind of exists, and it always exists, and it's tangible, and there's a way to predict exactly what's going on the other side of the planet, to know with certainty. But this idea of the universe being a hologram is a little bit different. And over time, it's an idea that's really come to resonate with me. So I want to kind of talk about that a little bit and share why I really think that that's probably fairly accurate, that the universe isn't really tangible, but rather it's a hologram. Now, since I've started playing with consciousness and the law of attraction and deliberately shifting my vibrational state, I've started to notice, I guess, what you might call glitches in the matrix. That's one way I could kind of put it. Nothing dark. But just like, you know, if I'm dealing with a person and that person's being just a real jerk, and I can tell that I'm kind of feeding into it, in that moment I can make a shift and get myself to kind of view that person more positively, and then that person will suddenly do an about face and start being nice to me, as if the hologram just shifted to meet me where I was focused. Or, you know, sometimes there's some interesting things that happen to me when I'm just like in a really good state. So like lately I've had this big thing for red birds, like red robins and cardinals. And it always seems to happen, like if I'm driving and I suddenly get into a really high flying emotional state, one of these red birds will go just flying across my car, like right in front of my windshield, like very, very close. Which was something that never used to happen, doesn't make a lot of sense. These are not birds that you usually see in abundance. But again, just kind of like, oh, you're in that state, here you go. And it just kind of gets me to thinking that, you know, whenever I make kind of dramatic shifts, especially conscious shifts, I can see the hologram or the program change. And if the world was actually tangible, if it actually existed in a tangible state, I probably wouldn't be able to see those kinds of shifts, would I? I also think the idea of the universe being a hologram plays very well with the law of attraction. And since I've seen it working so much for me, it makes a lot of sense that that idea is actually an idea that has a great deal of merit. And not only that there is a hologram, but that we are each experiencing our own hologram. So I have a hologram that I'm experiencing of reality, but my earth may look very different from your earth. And your earth may look very different from your mother's earth, or your father's earth, or your grandfather's earth, or anybody else's. That we're all kind of in this hologram, but we each have kind of our own hologram, and it's constantly shifting. So it's just something to think about. I know we think of the world as being very solid and very tangible, but if you start playing around with your vibrational state, I think you'll see what I've seen, which is that, you know, suddenly everything was going along one way and then there's a dramatic shift. And the only thing that changed was your consciousness. And the more I've started to notice that, the more it makes sense that this is just kind of a program that's being run by my consciousness, and I'm just kind of leaping from one area to another. So anyway, those are my deep thoughts for today. Other than that, I guess that's all I've got for you. I hope you enjoyed them, and I'll try to make another video for you tomorrow. Bye-bye.